Hello my students, my viewers. Welcome again here in C++ tutorial. So our topic for today is about multidimensional arrays, but in this time we are going to have searching features or searching capabilities for this array. What we're going to do is, of course, we're going to declare arrays with a lot of rows or a lot of information inside. And also we were going to put the same records but with different unique ID. And then we're going to have a search program, search commands by means of looping statements and if conditions. And then we will put additional filter or additional search for this searching project. Okay, so let's hop in and let's start. We already know that the multidimensional array is an array of arrays. And it is the most common bidimensional array of all. And usually, most users use two-dimensional arrays that can be imagined as a dimensional tables, which is made of elements such as rows and columns, like this. So, as you can see in the figure below, this is the pattern or the syntax when you are creating a multi-dimensional arrays. So the first thing, of course, and obviously, is to you try to invent your own multi-dimensional array name. Okay? Depending on the type of your project or depending on what you're doing, that will be the name of the multi-dimensional array you're going to put there. And of course, you have to specify which data type this array is. It can be an integer or string or a float. But most commonly, most users prefer to use string instead of float or integer. And those are only applicable to those tables which involves mathematical items, or numbers, whole numbers. But when it comes from what you call mixed records with a combination of numbers and alphanumeric characters, you always use string. And then there will be two brackets here. That is why it's called bidimensional or multidimensional. The first bracket signifies the rows or number of rows you wish to create, and the other one is the number of columns. And then down below is the initialization of this array. You can see now here there are a lot of data records over here, and it has two columns, column 0 and column 1, and it has 6 rows, row 0, row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then followed by the semicolon on the last part of this multidimensional array. Okay, to appreciate this lesson, let's have some example or demonstration on how do we do these multidimensional arrays together with the searching feature. Okay, so let's hop in. Okay, so what we have here is a application called Coblax in order for us to demonstrate this project. So we're about to create the multidimensional array. However, in the interest of time, I already created one. I created student records, multidimensional arrays. Unfortunately, I did not put the data record at the moment because we are going to do that in actual. Just to show you that I have here 15 rows from row 0 to row 14, and I have 4 columns from column 0, okay, up to column 3. That is 4 rows. Okay, so we're about to fill in this multi-dimensional array with actual records. Let's assume that we have a university and there are students with student number and of course age and the first name and last name. So the first item I'm going to do here is to put the student number, and over here is the last name and the first name, and in this column I should put the age of the student. Okay, so let's start with the student number 1001, and over here is 1002, and down there is 1003, and the rest is the same sequence. So let's put a lot of information, by the way, one moment. Okay, so this one is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and over here is 10. And down there is 11, and then student number 100, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, and then let's put the what you call the last name of each student. So this first student is De La Cruz. Okay, and over here is Agoncillo, and the other one is Estares. Over here is Quezon. The other student is also De La Cruz, and this person here is just Cruz. Down here is Rizal, and below him is Reyes. Reyes. And let's put Capatit here, and Madame de los Santos. Okay, so Fermin, Lopez, what is this, Magsaysay? You know, it's very difficult to invent the last names of the student for demonstration. So Estrada, I'll try to make a name of the presidents instead, and then Ramos. Okay, here we go. And then you have here the first names. The first one is Chris, the other one is Mike, and this one is Mary Ann. Okay, Angelo, and then Oscar. Okay, and then this one is Agassi, and then Marites, and then John. This one will be Luke, and this one is Fermina, and Christy down below, and of course this one is Ponce, and then Mr. Ramon, and then Ejercito, and finally we have Fidel Ramos. Okay, and then finally let's put the age. Okay, so Mr. whose name is De La Cruz, Chris, is 18 years old, and this one is 21. Oh, I'm very sorry about that. So I'm just going to kill this thing. Okay, so 21, and then you have here 22, and then this one is 18, and this is 23, 17. Oh, there's a lot of students here, you know. 22, and then 23. Let's say this one is a little bit younger, 24. I mean older. This one is also 18 years old. This one is 19. And the rest of the students are, no, it's not 29. 20 and 20 and then 20. Here we go. So we have done making a multidimensional array. So do you have any errors here? Let's find out. Oh, we have an error because we forgot to specify the number of rows and columns. So again, these are 15 rows from row 0 to row 14. So you put there in the beginning 15, and here you have actually 4 columns, but it said column 0 to 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you put there 4. Okay, so let's try to check if there are errors. So no errors. Okay, so let's try to display these items and in order for us to check. So let's put C out here, and then we put the name of the variable, by the way. So one moment please. Okay, so this one is column 0. Okay, and column 0, and then okay, I guess this one is good. So one moment please. Let's put some space here between. Sorry. This one should be space. Okay, and the same thing, we should go with this one. Okay, so, and then we put 2 end lines here. Okay, just to make sure. So this one, student records, will display the column 0. This one is column 1. This one is column 2, and the other one is column 3. Okay, this one is blank at the moment because we are going to invent a for statement to do that. So we put 4, and then integer x is equals to beginning with a 0, and it has to end with less than equal to 15, and of course beginning to March by means to x plus plus. And then we put the beginning and end in between. We have to, engage with this. Let's put it there, and let's double check. Okay, so there is an error. So because we forgot to fill up those blank brackets. And this one is not a number. It has to be a variable that is changing numbers, which in our case is the x. So we put x here, right, x, and also the other one. Okay, so we run. Oh, sorry, something is wrong. One moment, please. With this, less than or equal to 15. Because it has to be 14. Sorry, okay, from 0 to 14, because it was 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 14 in the end. I'm very sorry about that. I never noticed. So run. Okay, here we go. So it displays all of our items in the arrays, okay, in a well-mannered order. Okay, so I hope you understand, but we will continue in the next slide how to apply the searching program for this. Okay, so you can see now we are finished with this multidimensional arrays, and everything here is fine and it's running. So the next step we're going to do now is we're going to have this search capability of our program. So how do we do that? So the first thing to do is to put an input to allow the user to type the items in which they would like to search. In our example here, we will try this column 1, which is the last names of each student. So these are the ones we are going to search. So over here, let's put something. Let's put C out. Let's invent a question. And then we have here this, one moment please. Okay. Let's put the question, which student would you like to search? And then please type its last name. Please type the last name. Okay, here we go. We have the instruction, and of course we have to allow the user to enter the last name. So since you have a variable like last name, you have to declare it on its top. So string last name, and then yeah, that's it. Okay, so the next step we shall do is to search whatever the user will type on the last name. How do we do that? So to do that, we are going to invent a do-while statement. So we are not going to use the for statement at all. So we use the do and then the while. Okay? And of course, we are going to display everything, all the ones that we are going to search. What we're going to do here is, okay, it's like the for statements that we are going to march one by one on its items or rows of this multidimensional array. To do that, we try to invent something. Let's invent the x variable again. Let's initialize it to 0. And let's increment it inside the do while. Okay, there we go. Of course, we have to arrange it perfectly. Okay, so there's the while. I'm very sorry about this. Okay. And then let's make a condition: as long as the x is less than or equal to 14, then he has to march one by one on its array. That is what we're going to do. So therefore, when you run this program, it will display everything on the array. So that's the instruction. But I told you that we are going to search based on what we have typed in last name. So in that case, what we're going to do is we're going to formulate an if statement inside the do while like this. So if, one moment please. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. So there is an if statement. And when we say a condition, it's like this. When the last name is equals to any items of student records, which is the column 1, then we're going to display that record. Okay, so that's the condition. So we have already formulated the condition, and now we try to emphasize it to the if statement. So we put last name here, and then whenever the last name is equals to the student records, one moment please. Okay, student records, by the way, which column, by the way? So column 1, sir, this one, column 1, this is the last name. Whenever it is equals to column 1, then display. And by the way, wait a minute. And what about this? How about the rows? Are we going to make this fixed number, like 0 or 1? No, not that. We are inside the do while, and the person in charge of do while is the X. And it is the X that displays each row of our records inside the multidimensional array. So therefore, we put X there inside these brackets. Okay? So let's try to make a special effects here that while it is searching, it will display the word searching. One moment, please. Searching, and then that's it. Okay? Hopefully there is no error at all. Let's try to run. Which student would you like to search? Let's try to search Lopez. Let's press enter. So as you can see, it's searching, and then they found Lopez Ponce. I think we have to better, enhance this program. Let's close this, by the way. And let's put this. C out, and then \n, and then record found. Okay. Oh, I'm very sorry about that. Okay, here you go. And then we have to put this asterisk. All right. Record found, so that we will pay attention whenever there is a record found. Okay, let's try to run. All right, which student would you like to search? Let's say Fermin. So you can see, searching, and then suddenly record found, and the information of Christopher Fermin is displayed. And then suddenly, searching. And the reason why it's still searching, it's because you have here Fermin, okay, which is found by the if statement, and then the other names like Lopez, Magsaysay, Estrada is not found. So therefore, it printed searching at the bottom of this program. Okay, that's it. These are the items didn't match. These are actually students, those things with searching. I think it's better if we just remove this because it causes a lot of confusion. So we leave it like this. So let's try to run again, by the way. Okay. Okay, let's try to search De La Cruz. There are 2 De La Cruzes there, as you can see. So let's press enter. And here you go. You have De La Cruz Chris, and you have De La Cruz Oscar. Search and found in the records. Over there, you see this? De La Cruz Oscar. Okay, and the other person is De La Cruz Chris, which is the first person there. Okay, you can see our searching is effective. However, there is a big problem with regards with this searching. One moment, please. The only problem here is the problem is when we search a person like Rizal, and we type small letters instead of capital R, so that is the time it will not search the item correctly. Okay, so I hope you learn on this very easy part, and later we perhaps make a try to put improvements here. Okay, so try to study the structure, and that's how easy it is. Okay, that's it. All right, so we just finished our basic searching of our records using these arrays. So you already studied the structure, and what I did here is I put additional first name in the variables because we're about to demonstrate our next procedure, I mean the next demonstration on how are we going to create two criteria. The first one is the last name and the second one is the first name. So I'm now going to put the C out, C in for the first name so that we will ask the user two items that must be matched. So it will specifically display a particular record. So now that we have two, so the next thing we should now instruct is the if statement. So as you can see in the if statement, it only has one criteria to search, and that is the last name. What about the first name? So if you wish to connect that here, so you have to put the ampersand and then type the first name, our variable. And then you have to equal it to which uh, um, multidimensional array are we going to do that? Of course, it was the student records. However, instead of, because this one here is 1, and it pertains a last name, which is this one is the last names, and that is column 1, and these first names are column 2. So therefore, you're going to put number 2 here in our brackets over there, right? So let's try to make a test on this program. Okay, let's try. So I would like to search Ramos, and then the first name is Fidel. So successfully found over there is Fidel Ramos, age 20. Okay, so let's try to search again. So this time we're going to search De La Cruz and then Oscar. Okay, so you have the Oscar De La Cruz. If you still remember in our previous discussion or this slide, when we search De La Cruz, all De La Cruz in our records will then be displayed as a result. Okay, but what about if we type a different case? Let's say I would like to type Reyes, and then the first name there is John, which is a small letter J. Okay, and the one in the records is capital. What will happen? So what happened is it will not display because the John it did not match to the original name, which is John with a capital J. So that is how it behaves. And that is why you have to be very careful when using this, what you call arrays. However, there is a solution for that. There is a solution. There are string library in C++ by which you can use the function that allows the names, or I mean your variables, to become lowercase letters, including those in the multidimensional arrays, so that it will then be matched and then it will be displayed correctly. Okay, so that's it. So this is how you do a two criteria search in our project. Okay, so I hope you learned this very simple lesson regarding multidimensional arrays with search. So again, try to browse to the internet. There are thousands of examples of this search, and there are many styles, okay, many style of programming. And also, there are many techniques when it comes from filtering objects, or I mean filtering records with regards of this. So this is just a simple explanation for the program. And I would like to encourage you to go to W3C schools and different tutorials in YouTube because this tutorial is just only a what you call primary or fundamental thing that at least you got the idea. You catch the idea what are the applications of these multidimensional arrays, by which also introduction in your database subjects. Okay, so that's it. So again, thank you very much for listening and watching, and I wish you a nice day, goodbye, and God bless you all.